Hello YouTube, this is Fruno. Get Good in Technical Minecraft Part 12. And in the last episode we built a fortress farm and I brought back a few bones, a few coal blocks and also a couple of stacks of wither skelly skulls. Now the next project, if you look at me and you've seen me on the Hemisphere server, then you know what's wrong. In this picture here, I never ever use a shield. I always have a totem of undying in my offhand. And of course, for totems, we need a raid farm. And I just designed a raid farm, made a video about that. I'll link it, of course. We will build this raid farm. And for this raid farm, we need an ominous bottle farm. And I've already been to the end and grabbed a couple of stacks of obsidian. I plan to more or less wing it. Let's see if this works. Now there are other designs. For example, Fortunate Diamond has a rather simple ominous bottle farm. It's a bit iffy to get the bottles out in survival, but what we'll do is a portal-based looting farm. So this is a super simple setup. It requires basically obsidian and a few building blocks, and an armor stand and a few hoppers and a few chests. So I gather the remaining materials and see you in a moment. Right, so I think I have all the materials that I need. A few building blocks, I'll use a bit of glass, about 4 stacks of obsidian, a sweeping edge sword, an armor stand. I will try to build this using potions of invisibility because we don't have an overworld mob switch. What could go wrong? So some cobble to extend the spawning platform and our trusty redstone chest. Alright, let's roll. The idea of this bottle farm is that we have an iron golem just in the middle of the building, and our pillagers will see the iron golem and try to shoot it, but they can't shoot it from a distance further than 8 blocks away. So they will try to get within 8 blocks. And we will make sure that no pillagers can spawn in the middle, near the iron golem. Then we'll have a set of portals around the golem. And the pillagers will think they can get close to the golem, but they will have to step into the portals for that. And then, of course, they are transported to the nether, to a nether bridge, which is very similar to a lot of other farms like ENX04's gold farm. And they come out at the second portal high over the outpost, where the player stands with a looting sword and kills them. So we start by taking down the walls so that the pillagers can see the golem. Then we make a little holding cell for the golem in the middle. We have to light up the inner area. The light level has to be 9 or higher for each block, otherwise the pillagers could spawn on the inside. And then we'll build a set of portals such that there are exactly 7 blocks between the iron golem and the portal. Of course, we're invisible the whole time. If a pillager spots us, we just hide behind some blocks so they lose sight. Now we need to light up the upper area unless we want to take that down completely. And then we can light the portal and go to the nether, where I have already done another portal on the roof leading to this outpost. On the nether we first take down the temporary portal and then build a set of 2 portals. The first portal is exactly at the coordinates of the iron golem, so x and z divided by 8. And y should be roughly the y level of the AFK spot, 127 blocks over the iron golem. We make the portal 3 wide, block off the backside using some walls or building blocks. Then we build a path about 10 blocks long to a second portal that is 1 block higher. And the path contains slabs, so we have steps of half a block and the mobs can push each other up there to the other portal. And the way the portal linking works is that they will come out at the higher portal that is at our AFK spot. We go invisible again and use some scaffolding to go up to our AFK spot. And we'll have a 3x1 cell holding the pillagers. The direction doesn't really matter. So we will have 3 hoppers collecting the drops. And then we use a hopper line and build a little item sorter for the 5 types of bottles. And I'll just burn the remaining drops using this dropper here that goes into a soul sand fire. Of course you could collect the banners and the crossbows if you like, but I won't. And now we build just a small drop chute, 3 wide, with a portal on top where the pillagers come out. Again, the backside of the portal is blocked off. And in front we will have an armor stand gated off by a couple of trapdoors. We will use iron trapdoors so that we can't accidentally open them. And that's pretty much it. Make sure that the top of the portals are lit up as well, with light level 9 or higher. And then we go inside and spawn in our iron golem, which should be safe now, because no pillagers on the inside, no other mobs, everything is lit up. And we have a set of portals around them leading to our nether bridge. And on two sides we don't have any terrain where pillagers can spawn, so we will build spawning platforms out of cobble that I brought. And I finally died, stupid idiot that I am, falling off the platform. Alright, that's the farm done. It went actually a lot better than I expected, with all of the pillagers around me. Well, this wasn't too bad. I think that took less than an hour to build in total. If we look at the bottom and enable hitboxes, then you see that we have quite a lot of pillagers that don't see the golem, which are here. So what we could do was to either remove part of the structure or perhaps remove a bit of grass so that they spawn lower and can see the iron golem. But the pillagers that spawn here and on our little platforms will immediately go to the portals and of course after a while come out here on the other side. So now all I have to do to get the ominous bottles is to stand here and keep hitting for a while. I added the beacon and I went AFK for a bit, so we got some ominous bottles of each type. The rates of this farm are still pretty crappy, so you see the mob cap is still pretty empty. We've got 25 to 30 mobs, and a lot of them are actually on this hill here because they can't see the iron golem, which we could change by adjusting this portal here. Just having this upper boundary a bit higher, we could drastically increase the rates of the farm by making these platforms a bit larger, or possibly by adding a second layer. So obviously you could have layers every 3 blocks, as long as the raiders see the iron golems. But of course, you can also just AFK a bit longer. For now I'm happy. So this is future Bruno. I did make the portal a bit larger so that the pillagers on this hill will see the golem. I also extended the platforms. Of course we were really unlucky that we couldn't find an outpost in a flat area. I searched all of the outposts within, say, 6,000 blocks of my base, and this was really the best I could get. If you can find an outpost that is in a plains biome that is really flat, then you don't have to do this magic with the platforms, because basically the pillagers from all sides will just see the golems and the rates will be a lot higher right from the start. So now the pillagers come in at a slightly faster rate, good enough for me. I just went AFK a bit longer in this farm and almost got something like 8 or 9 stacks of each ominous potion. Alright, after some more AFK time I have plenty of bad omen bottles. So let's go out and build a raid farm. And I designed a raid farm very recently, made a video about it, so I won't talk too much about it here, because chances are most of you have seen it. I'll link the video of course. It's a very simple raid farm, easy to build, so let's get right to it. I'm starting the build by getting a villager and boating him to the location of the raid farm. Now, if you haven't seen my dedicated video for this farm, it's a very simple farm, kind of a bare bones raid farm. The rates are not great, about 700 emeralds per hour and 80 totems. But that also means if I AFK for about 2 hours, I will have a shulker of emeralds and 5 shulkers of totems of undying, which will last quite a while. So I think this is a great early game raid farm. You can always build a larger, faster, better one later. And the beauty of that farm is it's not directional, it starts raids indefinitely, so you can AFK there forever, you don't have to manually start any raids, and it can be built in under 90 minutes. We'll need 1 villager on a composter, which defines a village for Minecraft. And otherwise the farm has just 3 components, a little storage system where I added a shulker box loader for redstone and emeralds, because we do get enough redstone to collect it. And just a bunch of double chests where all of the other drops go in. Half of these drops will be totems of undying. A regeneration beacon that is actually overclocked, so that we don't starve in there, and we can also heal a little bit of damage in case we should encounter some vexes. Then we have a kill chamber, where all of the raiders fall in except of the ravagers. So we hit an armor stand, we kill the raiders, and we collect the drops with a simple hopper line. We need a little bit of redstone, because we will detect if no raiders come in for a certain time. about 20 to 25 seconds. And if no raiders come in, then we'll assume that the raid has ended and we need to start a new one. And our redstone will just drop down a little trapdoor, which allows us to drink a new ominous potion, even though we are facing an armor stand, which will be blocked by the trapdoor. And then we have a spawning platform where I unfortunately forgot to time-lapse it. So this will appear magically here. Yeah, and we're done. That took exactly 83 minutes, including the gathering of materials, which is really fast for a raid farm. So we have filled our dropper. We have our ominous bottle in the hand and our sword. Let's fill the inventory. Of course, the one thing I forgot to bring was an armor stand. And our rain farm should be fully functional. Now I will AFK here for a while. I can send a carpet bot this time, because carpet bots will use items even if they look at an armor stand. So our elaborate system to preserve our ominous bottles will not work with the carpet bot. So I will remain AFK here until I have a decent amount of emeralds and these chests are filled with a lot of totems. Okay, this was about 5 hours AFK time. Now let's see what the results were. That's looking pretty good. So let's finally do the thing that I wanted to do for a long time. Have a totem in my offhand. Remaining bottles go into the dropper. And also a few emeralds, a bit of redstone, plus some change in the shulker boxes, of course. And let's head back to our base. We have a bit more time in the episode, so let's do something about this disgraceful smelter here with 2 furnaces. And we'll build something that is almost as easy, has a few more furnaces. So this is what we'll do. We have an output chest. And we'll use 9 furnaces. And I'll explain in a moment why this is the magic number. So hoppers for the fuel, hoppers for the input, and you'll want 1 block gap and another block here. And of course the easiest way to distribute items evenly are minecarts. So let's do something like that. 1 block gap. And now let's grab a couple of hopper minecarts. Place a piece of redstone dust like so. Use a lever. And once for the input. And once for the fuel. And of course we need to power these rails. Maybe like that. If we pull the lever, these minecarts will go back and forth and distribute the items over the furnaces. Because they have a little time under the chests, they can pick up a few items. Unfortunately, they won't pick up enough items that we need for the 9 furnaces. We need 18, so that the minecart distributes 1 item each going back and forth. So what we'll do instead is use a few iron bars here and waterlock these rails. So just use 2 buckets. 1, 2. And we'll do the same on the other side. Of course, the iron bars prevent the water from flowing over. Okay, now our minecart is a bit slower under the chest. And that's just enough time that the minecart will be able to pick up 18 items. And 18 items is of course 9 furnaces times 2. So each furnace will get 2 items this way. And we don't have to pre-fill, we don't need a minecart loading station that checks that the minecart is full or full enough or whatever. This is just so simple. So let's fill the fuel chest and smelt a bit more stone so that we have a bit more smooth stone. Okay, let's roll with just a bit of stone. And the first furnace will sometimes pick up an extra item, because the minecart is still in a waterlogged area and slow. We could set another block in between, this would fix the issue, but you know what, this won't be the last smelter that we'll build. It's just another temporary solution, so that's fine. Right, and of course a hopper line is sufficient for 25 furnaces, so we are not near the final speed there. So yeah, this is our new smelter for the time being. Let's get rid of the old structures here. And that's it for this episode. We made a lot of progress with the raid farm and a little smelter. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you want to see more content like this. Please subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos. And see you next time. Bye bye.